Good morning, everyone. This is Teacher Charlene welcoming you all for our math class online. Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Teacher Charlene welcoming you all for our math class for today. I want all of you to stay calm there and let's do math together. But before we're going to proceed with our lesson, I want you to be ready with the following materials: your textbook, writing materials, and your copybook for some computations. We are still with lesson 12-6, that is, dividing mixed numbers. And to remind you of our lesson's objectives, first, change mixed numbers to improper fractions, and second, find the quotients of mixed numbers. I hope that all of you will be able to be familiar with these mathematical skills at the end of the lesson. Let's have a quick review of our lesson yesterday. That is, dividing mixed numbers. So we have here 6 and 1/2 divided by 2 and 1/4. The first thing that we have to do is to change the mixed number into improper fraction. So 6 and 1/2 will become 13/2, while 2 and 1/4 becomes 9/4. After changing them, we can now proceed to the multiplication equation. Get the reciprocal of our fraction divisor, 9/4, and make it 4/9. Multiply fractions then, we have 52/18 or 26/9, or we can also express it in mixed number, which is 2 and 8/9. Yesterday, I have assigned the independent practice as your homework. Were you able to answer them? Now, I want you to open your book to page 625 for us to check them. Are all your answers correct? Very good. Now, I want you to go to page 626. We are already with math practices and problem solving. Let's focus our attention on the first two problems. So it says here that the larger room in the picture is twice as long as the smaller room, and the smaller room measures 20 and 4/5 feet. Now, for our question, how long is the larger room? So we are going to multiply the size of the smaller room by 2. So first, change the mixed number into fraction. So we have 104/5. Then multiply it by 2. So it will result to 208/5, or it can be 41 and 3/5. Were you able to follow? Very good. How about number 24? If the length of the smaller room is divided into 4 equal parts, how long is each part? So again, we have to write our given. So we are going to divide the size of the small room by 4. So we are going to change now the equation into multiplication. So 104/5 times 1/4. So it will be 104/20, or 5 and 4/20, and renaming it, we will have 5 and 1/5 feet. Let's go now to number 25. So it says there that if 9 times n/5 equals 9 divided by n over 5, then what does n equal? Explain. So it only shows here that the multiplication equation is equal to the division equation. So we have to think of a number that we are going to multiply with 9 and at the same time divide with 9, and the answer will be the same. Okay, so what will be our answer for this? The expressions n over 5 must be equal to 1 because multiplying any number by 1 and dividing any number by 1 gives the same result. So, how are we going to make n over 5 equal to 1? So, we are going to make it as a fraction 5 over 5. 5 over 5 means 1. Let's proceed to the next problems. For number 27, it says here, Margaret uses 1 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla to make 12 vanilla cupcakes. She wants to make 30 cupcakes. How much vanilla will Margaret use? First, we have to know that this problem actually is a ratio problem. So we have to equate 1 3/4 to 12 and the unknown to 30. So our equation will be 1 3/4 divided by 12 equals n divided by 30. So the mixed number will be changed into fraction. So we have 7 over 4. Then, changing the sign, we will have to multiply it with the reciprocal of 12, which is 1 over 12. Then again, equate it with n over 30. So 7 times 1 will give us 7, and 4 times 12 will give us 48. Then this must be equated with n over 30. Multiplying 48 times n will give us 48n, and 7 times 30 will give us 110. Will give us 210. Now, we have to remove the coefficient of the variable. So, divide it by 48. And since we do it on the other side, it should also be done with 210. Now, 210 divided by 48, so we will have 4 over 18. And if we are going to rename it, it will be 4 and 3 over 8. How did we get it? We simply divided the fraction 18 over 48 by 6. So 18 divided by 6, we have 3. And 48 divided by 6 is 8. Did you get it? Very good. Now, let's proceed to number 28. The biggest diamond ever found weighed about 1 1/2 pounds and cut. If this diamond were cut into 6 pieces, or 6 equal pieces, how much would each piece weigh? So we are going to divide 1 1/2 by 6. So change the mixed number into fraction. That will be 3 halves. Then divide it by 6. Change this equation to multiplication. So we have 3 halves times the reciprocal of 6, which is 1/6. 1 times 3 will give us 3, and 2 times 6 will give us 12. Or we can rename it into 1/4. Is it easy? Well, you just have to follow the rules and you will easily get the answer for this kind of problem. We are now down with the last problem. Here it says that a restaurant has 15 1/5 pounds of ground beef to make meatloaves. For part A, the restaurant is going to make larger meatloaves, while for part B, the restaurant is going to make smaller size meatloaves. Then we are going to compare to know the difference. So let's go back first with part A. Each meatloaf requires 2 3/8 pounds of ground beef. How many meatloaves can be made? So how are we going to answer this? First, you have to write 15 1/5 divided by 2 3/8. This mixed number should be changed to fractions. So we have 76/5 divided by 19/8. Then, changing it to multiplication equation, so we will have 76/5 times the reciprocal of our fraction divisor. Multiplying these fractions, we have 608/95, or we can rename it as 6 2/5. Therefore, the restaurant can make 6 loaves of bigger meatloaves. However, there will be an excess of 19/20 pounds. How about for part B? The restaurant could make a smaller size meatloaf that uses only 1 3/5 pounds of ground beef. How many more smaller meatloaves can be made than the larger size meatloaves? So we can answer this same thing, dividing the two mixed numbers. 15 1/5 divided by 1 3/5. First, change them again to fractions. So we will have 76/5 divided by 8/5. Then, let's proceed to multiplication by reciprocating our fraction divisor. So 76 times 5 will give us 380, and 5 times 8 equals 40. So we can also change it to mixed number, which is 9 1/2. Or simply, we can say that the restaurant can make 9 smaller meatloaves. So we have to go back with the first one. So we have to subtract 6 from 9. So therefore, there will be 3 more smaller meatloaves than the larger one. Were you able to follow? Actually, this problem is easy. You only have to remember the rules that must be used in dividing mixed number. Remember the acronym KCF? Okay, for you to be guided with this, you will be watching a short video to be refreshed with our lesson.
Let's practice dividing mixed numbers by finding 3 1/4 divided by 1 1/2. First, we'll use compatible numbers to estimate. 3 1/4 divided by 1 1/2 is close to 3 divided by 1. 3 and 1 are compatible because they are easy to divide. 3 divided by 1 equals 3. The quotient should be approximately equal to 3. Let's keep our estimate in mind while we find the quotient. Now, let's find the quotient. Start by writing each mixed number as a fraction. 3 1/4 equals 13/4. 1 1/2 equals 3/2. Next, rewrite the problem as multiplication. Remember, instead of using 3/2 for the divisor, use its reciprocal, 2/3. Then, multiply the fractions. 13 times 2 equals 26. 4 times 3 equals 12. We can write 26/12 as a whole number or a mixed number. Divide 26 by 12. Rename the fraction if needed. 2 2/12 equals 2 1/6. The quotient 2 1/6 is close to our estimate, 3. Our quotient is reasonable. So 3 1/4 divided by 1 1/2 equals 2 1/6.
We are now done with our lesson, and hopefully, we are able to meet our targets. What are those again? First, we have to change mixed numbers into improper fractions. Do you remember how to do it? Very good. How about if I have 2 and 1/2? What will be the improper fraction for it? Very good, that is 5/2. Now, how about our second objective? That is finding the quotient of mixed numbers. Very good. This is just like that of dividing fractions. As long as you are able to change mixed numbers into improper fractions, you are going to multiply it, just like that of fractions. Okay? But before I'm going to end our lesson for today, I have some reminders for all of you. First, I want you to do the homework on pages 627 to 628 of your book. Log in as well to your person account for additional assignments. And lastly, if there will be worksheets that you have to answer, I want you to compile them in a portfolio. Clear to everyone? Thank you so much. That's all for today, and bye-bye. Have a nice day, everyone.